Hello everyone, welcome back to the Nocast. Today, unfortunately, I'm alone. I had to do this early, cover it by my own, so it's not going to be a podcast really. So, UFC 241 just wrapped up, and what a crazy card! I've never seen one like that in a while. With such a big fights, big names going on. Press conference is wrapped up as well. I watched that after it's full. I want to see what fighters say. So if something else important comes out, I don't want to miss it. So I just waited for that and recorded. So I have all the information as possible on fights and what the fighters said, what fights they're going to get next. So I'm starting off with the third fight. And this is Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa. I mean, everyone expected something big from this fight. We already knew how the fight would go. I just couldn't predict who's going to win, really. Even Dana said this fight, if you don't expect it to go bananas, you're so wrong. The fight starts, two guys measuring each other. And oh my god, what follows is just a festival of punches. Yoel Romero tries to take down Paulo Costa, he stops it. Paulo Costa knocks down Yoel Romero one time, and right after that he tries to finish Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero comes back and knocks down Paulo Costa as a revenge. My god, the first round ends. Both fighters gave a lot on that one. Yoel Romero seemed a bit tired. Second round starts, Yoel Romero managed to get some clinch moments, throwing some uppercuts. He established his jab pretty much, and Paulo Costa, however, he kept the same tempo. He kept coming, he kept punching. It's just crazy. Third round kept the same pace. Yoel Romero managed to land a knockdown in this one, which actually won him the round, in my opinion. However, the first two, Paulo Costa first round obviously won. Second one was half and half. Paulo Costa edged it a bit according to the judges and won this absolutely bullfight. Moving on, we had Pettis versus Diaz, another crazy fight. First round starts, one guy who put Diaz like an absolute animal. He's attacking Pettis. I expected Pettis to follow a different path, mostly with his leg kicks. He didn't establish his leg kicks as much as I believed he would. He threw, if I'm not mistaken, a couple, maybe more that I missed. I'm sorry if I missed them. Diaz, with his boxing, just outboxing Pettis. Pettis landed some power punches, didn't seem to faze Nate at all. Nate kept going. Clinch, Nate managed to control the clinch very much. They got the fight on the ground a couple of times, controlled that at the most of it. Anthony Pettis, however, got the full guard at some point. He didn't land anything significant, stopped all Nate Diaz's attempts to submit him, which is expected, but Pettis surprised me with his ground game, but also surprised me with not actually going with the plan I thought he would. Nate Diaz just won the fight. I don't think he lost the round. I don't think anyone should think that way. And yeah, moving to the main event now, we got Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. Another thing I actually talked about in the podcast, Daniel Cormier lost one round in total in his heavyweight career before coming in this fight. And that was a first round, actually, but he still won the fight. And Miocic coming back after a year, I didn't expect him to look good. Fight starts, Cormier controls it at the most of it. Like, Cormier was all over, like Miocic. He even, at some point, he puts him up his shoulder. That was a crazy moment. He managed to lift Miocic off the ground. He first attempted a single leg takedown, but then he just lifted him up his shoulder like, that's crazy, that's madness. He put him out there, then Miocic tries to get off the side, and that's when Cormier slumps him on the ground, and that lands him the round pretty much. However, on the ground he landed a number of punches. They stand up. Cormier has his arms pointed, his hands pointed towards Miocic's face, and keeps on pouring punches. Miocic a bit lost at the moment. This carried on the second round. Cormier with an amazing amount of volume punches that has to be noted. Carries on to the third round. Miocic starts to find himself still not at the level that he showed in the past years in his fights against Ngannou, Alistair Overeem. Not at that level. Even in the last fight with Cormier, he was, in my opinion, winning the first round. At the first part of the first round, Cormier started equalizing. And moving on to the fourth round, Cormier looked a bit tired to me. People didn't seem to talk about it or comment on this. For me, he did look a bit tired. And Miocic realized, why shall I try something different? He started throwing the left uppercut on the body of Cormier. And in the press conference, he said, I felt like he got winded by it the first two times, so I kept throwing it. And he started throwing hooks as well and keep mixing it up in the face and the body. And the last one got Cormier really badly. So DC backed off to the cage, and Miocic just poured on him like a madman and just finished the fight there. And he did his little dance, fancy dance. And yeah, Miocic won the fight by TKO, fourth round stoppage. And he's crowned the new heavyweight champion of the world. He got a new fancy belt as well. And that's it for the fights. I would like now to go back to Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero and talk about where they're going from here and on. So I think Paulo Costa from here is moving to title fight. Like, he's waiting for Adesanya and Whittaker. Even Dana said it's very hard to deny that beating Yoel Romero, who is such a freak of nature, doesn't put you in the frame of the championship fight. I think Paulo Costa next fights the winner of Whittaker versus Adesanya. And for Yoel Romero, I believe there's a couple of people he can fight. If Darren Till moves up to middleweight, I think that's a good fight to make. It will be a striking fight. Yoel Romero, of course, he scores some takedowns. And the other fight, I think, is maybe in Gastelum. He moves on and fights Gastelum. We're talking about middleweight. So I think those are potential good fights for Romero. And moving on to Pettis versus Diaz. Diaz fight ends, calls out Masvidal. I mean, it's pretty clear. Masvidal looked very positive on that fight. He said so many good fights, suddenly challenging me. So I guess that's the next fight to make, Diaz versus Masvidal. Pettis, however, is very tricky right now. It's very tricky to book Pettis. How do you put him? It's very difficult in the welterweight. Losing a fight like that, maybe RDA. Do you think it's too harsh if we put RDA against Pettis? I think it's a good matchup. I'm not 100%, but I think they fought before. Excuse my ignorance on that one. Last but not least, Daniel Cormier. I think it's time to retire. I mean, there's no point fighting Jones. He has nothing to prove on that one. And I don't really believe he can actually beat John Jones, even though John Jones looking shaky lately on his fights. I don't believe he can beat him. John Jones has too many tools for Cormier to handle. And yeah, I think he retires from here. He enters the Hall of Fame, and a great fighter, great achievements, great face for the sport, always promoting it, always being positive about it, never complained about the company, a great business guy. Then moving on to Miocic, I think it's pretty clear. I said it on my the podcast as well, if you watched it. Miocic is moving on to fight Ngannou. There's no other heavyweight at the moment that it's more ready and actually deserving it than Ngannou. Ngannou beats Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez, and Curtis Blades. I said it the wrong order, but he beats those three guys, very good guys, all of them, very credible. And I think that's it for Miocic. He's moving on, fighting Ngannou, Miocic versus Ngannou 2. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I apologize I had to do this alone without my good friends, and see you later. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention, next week we'll be covering the fight of Adraj versus Yoel Romero, which takes place in China. It will be early, so we'll try our best to put a podcast or predictions video earlier than that. And then moving on from that, that one takes part in 31st of August. Moving on from that, we go on the 7th of September in Abu Dhabi. Khabib fights Dustin Poirier, who's been in a streak lately. Very good fighter. I'm very excited to see that. We'll do podcasts and everything for that one. It's also early for the European citizens. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.